What's going on, everybody? It's the one and only One Qua, and we are back once again with another how-to build tutorial. This week I'm joined by Pluto, and we're going to be teaching you how to build a redwood forest in this 3-part series. Today we're going to go over how to make the redwood trees and plants, tomorrow we'll show you how to make the terrain, and on Friday we'll show you how to combine the two to make the finished forest. So let's hop over to Pluto's point of view and let's get started.
Before we start, I'm going to give a quick rundown on some of the commands we use in the video. If you don't care about these things, just skip ahead to here. For starters, we are going to use a world edit brush for the leaves, so you'll need to get one of these tools. I usually use one of the shovels. Then, while holding your tool in your hand, you will type //br sphere 10% 18 :12, 90% 0 space 2. The 1812 being non-decaying oak leaves and the 0 being air. 10% leaves and 90% air just means that there is a 10% chance of the leaves placing and a 90% chance of the air placing in the radius I gave. In this case, that radius is 2 blocks wide. And if I were to click and hold in one spot, we can see that it'll start to fill in the entire sphere. And in order for this brush to work properly, we have to immediately type //mask space 0. So this is so that we are making sure the blocks are only affecting 0 or air. This will be very important when we are putting the leaves over our small branches. Also, so that you can follow along too, I am using my swords as power tools. Power tools being part of the Essentials plugin, which means every time I click with my iron sword, it will be doing //post 1 for me. And every time I click with my wooden sword, it will do //post 2 for me. We are also going to be changing back and forth our selection types in this video in order to make branches. The two selections you'll need to know are //cell convex and //cell cuboid. The cuboid one is the normal selection tool for world edit, and the convex is the new one we'll be using in this video. For the purpose of this video, you can think of the convex selection as a line selection, where the first position being the start of the line and the second position creating the points of the line to follow from there, like this. And the last command we'll need that falls under world edit will be //up1. This simply creates a glass block right where your legs are. The final command we used were from the voxel sniper plugin. And for this one, we aren't going to get too in depth with it. But the first thing you'll need to do is get your arrow and gunpowder. With these, it doesn't matter if you're holding them or not, but you'll type /B space L, meaning brush line. Then type /V space 17, meaning voxel 17. And of course, 17 is just logs. And remember, all the commands we'll use will be displayed as we go and be in the description in the order we use them for you to use easily alongside too. Had enough of commands for now? Well, it doesn't matter because we're done here anyway. So let's go on to making some trees. For everything that we make today, I will be creating one version with tools and one version by hand. To start off the redwood tree I'm making with commands, I'm making an outline of the trunk and building a stick in the center up to the full height of the tree, all by hand. This is where we'll be using our first tool, voxel line brush. So grab yourself an arrow and gunpowder and type the commands we discussed before. And select your first point at the top with the arrow, and then we'll use the gunpowder to select the outline we just made at the base of the tree. Then keep using the gunpowder to try to smooth out some parts of the trunk. Now, after that, go back and add in some more pronounced roots at the base of the tree. Now onto the branches where we'll be using our second tool, convex selection. We first don't want to forget to change our selection to cell convex. Once we have the right type of selection, you will select the first point on the tree where you want the branch to start. Then, as you fly away, select the second positions while you fly in a line for your branches to follow. Once we have made the line selection where we want the branch to go, now we will use our curve command. Then, use that line to make the rest of the branch by hand, or keep using this curve command. Once we get all of the branches made, we'll move on to leaves.
Keep in mind not to overlap the branches as you create them. Instead of making branches next to each other, try to spread them out a bit so your tree doesn't have any awkward bald spots. When making the tree, also keep in mind the overall shape as you go, and remember to fly out and see what you're making frequently.
For the leaves, you'll need to get yourself another tool. This is where I usually get my shovel. Once you're holding your tool of choice, you're going to use the sphere command we showed earlier, with a mask on it. It's important that you type the mask after the BR sphere command to make sure that it applies. Once you've typed your two commands, you just go around and right-click on the ends of the branches to start creating your leaves. If you want to add another color or type of leaf, just get another tool, or if you're like me, another shovel, and do the same commands you did before, only with the block you want instead.
Remember that the leaves you make with a brush can look like a sphere if you aren't careful. To make the trees by hand, start with the root of the tree and make a line that outlines one side of the tree. Create a few more of these lines to create an outlining wireframe of the trunk. After this, fill in the wireframe with solid blocks, trying to keep the blocks smooth and connected. Next, add on branches by building outwards from the trunk. Just like earlier, try to spread out the branches and make sure they don't overlap. For the leaves, grab two types of leaves. We're using oak and birch leaves, and spin around the branch while placing blocks. Once you've done that, it's done. In order to save time, Pluto also went for an overall skinnier design for this tree. Also note that these and all of the rest of the plants we will vary the heights. Remember to keep this in mind when building your own plants. Now let's start working on the first plant.
For this plant, we'll use the cell convex and curve method again to make the center portion of the leaf. And then hand make the blocks on the side to give the leaf its shape. After making and shaping them, we'll use the 10% leaves and 90% dark green glass. Then mask the leaves so that we can make the ends of the leaves glass. Then we just have to click and hold on the ends of the branches like so.
To make this plant by hand, start in the center of the plant and build the stems of each leaf upward and outward, then curve it back down some. Make sure you leave some space in between each stem for the rest of the leaves. For shaping the leaves, follow the same process as before, but this time make sure to color the leaves by hand as you go, or you could also replace the leaves with glass when you're finished.
For the next plants, it will be the same process as any normal tree. For the World Edit version, we use the cell convex and curve commands again to make the base for the trunk, then built the branches off that, and use the same technique for coloring as I did for the redwood leaves.
For these two plants, we decided that the trunk and branches should be made entirely by hand because of the complex curves we wanted them to have. The first plant's leaves were done with the sphere brush again, and the second was done by hand in the same way as the plants before, only this time without another color. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Remember to check out the terrain video tomorrow and the final video showing how to put the Redwood Forest together on Friday. Also, we have a public Discord. On there, we would love to see pictures of your builds and give advice on them. The link will be in the description. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and turn on notifications. Tell us about what you would like to see us build next in the comments section below, and we will see you in the next video.